The Nazca Mummies are real, y'all. At least that's according to a brand new interview on the Good Trouble Show with Matt Ford. They had on Dr. Richard O'Connor to discuss a brand new peer-reviewed scientific analysis of the Nazca Mummies. So let's dive in and take a look at this clip, y'all. If you're new to the channel and you like content like this, please hit that subscribe button. I put out a new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I do not miss a day, y'all. And please hit that like button, vetters. That really helps out the videos, y'all. Okay, so thank y'all so much for the support there. And, of course, comment down below. What do you think of these new findings about the Nazca Mummies? And do you think they're real? Let's go. That's not it. Here we go. Bam. I'll put a link, again, to the full video on YouTube to watch it if you like, and a link to this clip on Twitter. As well as Dr. Gary Nolan also joined this interview. I guess Matt was asking questions or delivering messages right through Signal as he was talking to Dr. Gary Nolan on the air. But let's watch the clip. Here we go.
On my Signal, Dr. Gary Nolan just pinged, and he says, Matt, this presentation is amazing. Again, this is Dr. Gary Nolan of Stanford University, the executive director of the Soul Foundation. And he was, and he says, I don't want to come on. I was going to ask him if he wants to come on the air, but he says he looks like shit today. So, so he's just going to text these questions. But
so do I.
Well, you should see me without a suit. I totally look horrible. So anyway, yeah, so Dr. Nolan says, Matt, this presentation is amazing. Clearly, he's very impressed. He was noting here that there seem to be two different types. He notes here the small ones seem very different than the other one that is crouched over. Are these two species?
Yeah. In fact, they've described three, as far as I know, three different separate species of these mummies that were all discovered in this same repository of these body or corpses, really is what they are. They're not really mummies, they're corpses,
right?
Because they have all of their internal organs that are highly desiccated and fairly difficult to figure out what you're looking at. But as far as their interior organ structures, but yeah, they have discovered three different species that I'm aware of. All of them are quite different than one another. So. Yeah.
Dr. Nolan was noting that the brain cases are very different between the two. So is it when he says that the brain cases are different, is the internal volume of the brain casing different in size, or is it more of just the shape of it? And would that indicate a difference in age of the different ones?
So I don't know if you're referencing these two that are juxtaposed here in the slide on the left, or if he's talking about comparing like Josefina here in the foreground on the left to Maria, who's a much different, humanoid specimen. But yeah, I mean the sizes of these are way different. These little smaller ones are about 60 centimeters long. And the Maria, I think, was like 1.68 meters long. So she's about the size of an average human female. Okay. These are very small. These are, let's say, 2 feet long, So yeah, they're way, way different.
Dr. Nolan was asking, he noted earlier, just kind of going back to his message here, he was saying that he says they seem to be two different types. The small ones seem very different than the one that is crouched over. So I think perhaps he's talking about the one that was that was going through the CT scan.
Oh.
And also a note from Dr. Nolan as well. Is it possible these beings came from a different caste system per se?
It's absolutely possible.
Sure.
I have no idea what their hierarchy of, this is going to be something that anthropologists and sociologists this one reason that the journal that picked this article up is because that's the kind of things that this particular journal that's produced in Brazil, these are the kind of questions that they address in their journal, is the sort of social and environmental consequences of discoveries like this, and what they could mean. And so I think that that's the reason that this particular journal picked up this article and peer reviewed it and published it.
So again, they go through more in that interview, but yeah, they're leaning towards these things are real, right? And definitely worth studying more. They don't believe that they're constructed. Now, whether or not it becomes non-human intelligence, whatever, I think that's, down the road. But I think the real big question right now for the Nazca Mummies is, are they a hoax or not? And I guess you could just call it a hoax and move on, right? That's to each their own. But there is a group of people still continuing to look into this, and they will be presenting those findings. I personally have, I see nothing wrong with that. Right? They're not asking me to spend my time investigating it and looking into it and whatever, you know what I mean? So have at it, right? And they'll present the findings. And yeah, again, see nothing wrong with that. So again, I'll put a link to the description of the full video, the Good Trouble Show. And look, it is interesting that Dr. Gary Nolan is jumping in on it, right? He's kind of tried to distance himself a little bit from that, as have a lot of people. Remember, I just had Dr. Michael Masters on, who is a professor of anthropology, right? And he wants nothing to do with the Nazca Mummies, right? So in the UFO community, it's divided, right? Just like anything, to be honest with you. But yeah, there you go. So again, link to the description. It's a great interview. I recommend watching it on the Good Trouble Show. All right. So that's it for me today, y'all. We'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Got some great videos coming out this week. All right. Don't forget to go check out my interview with Ron James. It is popping. So, all right, guys. See you guys on tomorrow's video. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.